It's time to venture into the Filmverse, a movie fan podcast where we delve into the never-ending recesses of cinema and report our findings. I'm Mytchel Chandler,
And I'm Bryce Payne.
and today on the fourth episode of Into the Filmverse, we will be discussing the 1995 comedy Friday, the 1952 musical Singin' in the Rain, and our thoughts on Regal Cinemas indefinitely shuttering their doors. Be sure to join us on Letterboxd, the social network for film lovers. You can find me, Mytchel Chandler, at Mitch Reviews, and Mitch is spelled Mytch, and you can find Bryce Payne at.
Payne Reviews. Payne is spelled Payne.
And before we dive into our weekly movie watches, we're going to go off the top with some recent movie news. So, as COVID would have it, our precious movies are still getting delayed. It looks like the next two to hit the chopping board for this year is No Time to 007's new entry, No Time to Die, and Dune got delayed. They're both big tentpole movies that were supposed to come out this year. They had moved to December, and No Time to Die got pushed till April 2nd, 2021. So only a few months from where it was supposed to come out as. And then Dune got pushed to almost a whole year, next October of 2021, the first. What do you make of that, Bryce? How does that make you feel in terms of everything going on? I know last week we talked about Black Widow getting delayed next year. I mean, is it a surprise for you at all, really, or?
Not really. I mean, I'm not really upset about No Time to Die being canceled or delayed, not canceled. But I haven't seen any of Daniel Craig's other films in the series, so it gives me time to catch up on that. And Dune is like it's sad, but once again, I don't know enough about it to really be like overly upset about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen some of the 007 films by Daniel Craig. I know I don't think I saw the first one, but regardless, I'm not too like sad that they're being delayed because of the particular movie because I don't really mind when I see these ones. I'm
It's sad because
just
it's the
kind of.
final films that were going to be coming out.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing I had to look for, like the bigger films to look forward to that were coming out these year at the end of the year, and
Now
so
all we
just
have
for
is
them to
rom
push
coms.
rom coms, I know exactly rom coms and hopefully Wonder Woman 84 if that doesn't get pushed because that's the only big one that comes out.
Oh, yeah, they got
Um,
moved to December, right?
yeah, that's in December.
Yeah,
Still at
right.
this point, but
They'll probably move
I
it.
mean, probably. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, I guess it just doesn't surprise me either. It's just still a little depressing to know that those moved. Um, But close on the heels of that, um, Regal Cinemas said that they're closing its doors indefinitely. And they specifically cited, or the owner of Regal Cinemas specifically cited the move No Time to Die was their deciding factor that they were going to close their doors on this Thursday of Thursday 10/8, October 8th. Um, and I guess the big story behind that is, well, I mean, they're closing their doors again, um, at just shortly after reopening from being able to open. Um,
Well, to be
what do
fair,
you?
the only movie that was really pushing for a theatrical release was Tenet.
Right, and yeah, really the hope was I was thinking that you put Tenet in theaters, and then that starts getting more or more of these movies pushed back up, and that way they can get these audiences starting going to back. But it turned out that didn't really work out that way. I mean, Tenet went in the theaters, and I think to
It
this
did,
point it's only made
yeah,
300 million domestically.
yeah. I was like, it didn't do very good at the box office, but I mean, I also like this is just my personal thing with how these things are going with like movies getting released. If they had released it on digital too, like video on demand, it would have made a lot more money. But they decided that it's a theatrical experience only, so they were like, no. And I mean, like you and I are people who want to go to theaters, want to see these movies in these theaters. But there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable doing it, so like I get it, but I just think if they released it on digital, it would make a lot more money. Like I think
Are you
Mulan
saying?
Mulan just got released on Movies Anywhere today.
I saw that, and that's almost like a whole different topic. Only because if you look at the digital, yeah, they release it on movies anywhere for like $20, and which is kind of messed up. The fact that they charged their subscribers 30, but then they did like $20 on movies
Like
anywhere,
2 weeks later,
or
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's only been like a few weeks. It's almost like they screwed their subscribers over by charging them more money than they charged other people for it,
And then
and
there's
that's kind
us.
of messed up. Exactly. I mean, I to me it's a little silly that on that aspect. I don't know that I agree with with what they would have made more money with digital. Um,
No, but I think like I don't know. You look at Trolls, like that World Tour or whatever it was called. I personally believe that if it wasn't on digital, it wouldn't have made as much money as it did because it's more
well, okay,
readily available, and their kids,
that's
they're at
fair.
home.
I mean, okay, you could make that argument, I could say, but I still think but it still lost money though. Is the thing with that movie? That movie still lost money.
No, it didn't. I don't think it did because like
I
they
I
didn't
ran the
have
numbers
to.
on it.
They didn't need to pay a lot of advertising. They didn't need to do a lot of marketing. They didn't need to lease the film out. They just put it on digital and that's it. Like they basically, from what I remember when I read about it, is they made it's like the production actually made a 90% profit
Right.
that went into the pockets of the company. Like the budget was wow, actually a lot.
I
Maybe
know I
okay.
did.
Box office is totally different than like I looked up box office, but that's totally different than video sales.
Right. No, I was trying to look up. did a whole spreadsheet on this because I know it was a big
It has
topic at the
made
time.
$77 million in revenue from domestic customers.
Well, I mean, well, okay, but my main point though is it's not as profitable as going to as what the movies at the theater could be. You're not gonna like you can't make it to like maybe Troll squeaked out some money by chance, but you can't make a $200 million movie and put it on a streaming and expect to make
No,
the
no,
same amount of
no, and
money.
that's where Tenet comes in because like it's like what our plan was for Mulan, where we just got a bunch of friends together. We were like, we're gonna charge each person $5 and basically see the movie for free.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, but I guess going back to, I mean, Regal Cinemas here that AMC and Cinemark, the other theater chains, kind of major theater chains, had decided they're going to stay open
I'm
instead
kind of
of
okay.
closing doors.
I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, I personally haven't been to a Regal cinema in like 3 years, so like that doesn't really affect me very much.
No,
They're
I
not
agree.
they're
I'm
not the
just
they're not the big one in our town.
exactly
So
not where we live, but I'm just surprised that AMC and Cinemark are still staying open because usually what Regal does, AMC does, or what one of the big theater chains, they usually kind of stay just on the same suit.
well, I guess it would depend on how much Cinemark has made on their whole like flat like comeback classics things.
They've done a lot of that, but well, I guess my thing is this. Okay, so you have like the social distance seating, which is understandable and needs to happen, but you
It cuts
can't
down
make
how many people you can go see a movie.
right exactly, but you can't make the money back with how many like seats that you have in there, and that's why Tenet didn't do that great. Even if they packed the theaters as full as their social distance thing or guidelines would allow, they're still not making the money they need to be able to make a profit on that film. So it's like,
Maybe they're just not wanting to close and then reopen in 2 months because Wonder Woman.
well, right, and that's the thing though is if it does just be 2 months that it takes for everything
But they've
to
also
recycle start back up, then
they,
it's okay because they can get more people in the theater again.
I know that we did the math on this like last week, 2 weeks ago, something
Sure.
like that, where we were like, how much money could they make from these private watch parties they have going?
Hmm.
And we decided that they're really not making a profit, but we also don't know how many theaters are actually doing it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Versus, I mean,
So
I know
that
because we pretty frequently Cinemark, but I don't really know entirely what AMC is doing. I don't know if they have that program going on.
no, but like if you look at Cinemark, there's a lot of things that you're seeing online where people are like families of five or whatever, and they rent out a theater for $100.
Right.
So that's $20 tickets.
Exactly. It's just
So,
like it's almost not worth it.
but it's that's money that just goes straight to the theater because they don't have to license the
Right.
film. They don't have to. I mean, that's all to the theater. But then just having someone play video games for 3 hours, watch a
Yeah. That's
movie of their
also
choice,
a
like
thing they have. I mean,
I
it's all
I
about
I
how long is the theaters. How long is it going to be until theaters can start allowing more seating, and also these other bigger budget movies start coming back in? Because really, I was looking at the new releases coming out, and it's really just the only major ones is Wonder Woman that comes out in December, if that still happens at this point. and then the next one is going to be in March with Ghostbusters Afterlife. So it's really not until 3 months into next year
That we're gonna
that
start
we're getting
seeing big ones again.
exactly, and then after that it just starts popping. There's new movies every month, almost like two or three a month because of all the delays.
I would I,
But
I would assume Cinemark like gets the numbers and they look at it and they're like, all right, we can feasibly hold this through as long as things don't get fucked up more than what they are now.
that's the thing. I think right now is if everything stayed the way it is and they could just keep this steady pace going and then everything starts getting better, then I think it's going to be okay. But where the challenge comes in is like a lot of people are speculating, and there might be and this is all depends on different no, not different views, but just how it goes. But there might even be a second wave of COVID that it might get worse before it gets better again. That's just um, different people's speculation there. But I mean, if it gets worse, if the situation of COVID gets worse, I'm just nervous as far as what are the theaters gonna do. Like, I mean, I can't see them just shutting down completely. Like, it's just like a huge staple of entertainment, pop culture. But at the same time, it's like if they can't pay their bills, I don't know.
That's that's a good point. Actually, I doubt theaters are ever going to go away. I think they might get hit really hard. And might get like struggle, but I doubt they'll ever go away, especially in modern days. Because like, if you look at the mid 2000s, theaters weren't as popular as they are right now because we have the big budget franchises like MCU and DC and all that.
DCU, exactly. Well, that's the thing. I think I think that was where the way the movie theater, especially with streaming and all that. I definitely know the theater was changing. It was going to be more of a bigger event type deal. You're going to go see your Marvel movies. You're going to go see your DC movies. You're going to go see big budget, $200 million film movies, and these smaller movies like I don't know, like
Uh,
Moonlight. Well, not necessarily Moonlight. Moonlight might still come out and something like
Words
that.
on
But
bathroom walls.
yeah, Words on Bathroom Walls or this new movie coming out called Freaky. Those things are going to be more towards streaming. All these smaller films aren't going to get really as much attention as these larger
No, yeah, because
franchises will.
you'd go see you go see like Endgame in theaters, and you have the trailers, and you're like, wow, that looks good, and that's how you get you get noticed to these. But if you're not
Exactly.
like actively watching trailers, like you're never gonna know.
Exactly.
Like,
And that's the whole point. But I just don't think streaming is a viable solution for.
no, it's like it's a weird cop out. It's not as good.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of these and that's why you don't see a lot of these companies putting their stuff to streaming. I think Disney might have done it with Mulan is because they have so much on their slate already, and they were probably planning on doing some sort. I mean, I think it's a couple of things. One, they had so much on their slate already that they need to schedule around. Two, they know they probably weren't going to make the money they wanted to make off of Mulan, just especially how it's been received and everything. They probably knew that before
Yeah,
they released it,
live action Disney movies do not do well in the theaters.
right? And so I figured they probably realized that and said, "Well, let's just sample what it would be like trying to do it on streaming." And that's why I think it hasn't been done like great, with them charging Disney Plus subscribers $30 and then putting it on on demand or not on demand, but like streaming, what do you call it, rentals and stuff like that for like 20
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah, I was like rentals for $20 is ridiculous.
It really is,
I'm like,
yeah,
I could fucking own that movie in 3 months for the same price. There's no way.
exactly. But yeah, I guess my biggest thing about this whole Regal shutting down and AMC Cinemarket staying as open is it's just man, I lost my thought there. Um, Cinemark is staying open. Well, I'm excited they're staying open. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like you and
just,
I are going to go see a bunch of movies. Like, I'm so hoping they still bring like Chamber of Secrets and Return of the King and shit to theaters.
I'm just hoping that whatever they do, it's just enough to keep the theaters alive, and that's really my main thing.
MCU marathon, everyone will show up.
Everybody would show up too. That'd be packed.
They did that before, and they gave out T-shirts and shit, but not during the COVID pandemic. It was like right before Endgame came out.
Oh wow,
But it's
that's
only at
definitely
select
cool.
theaters. I wish I'd known about that.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, if anything, you just want more people to go out and to go to the theater to support the theater right now, because that's really the only way they're staying alive is just these smaller, comeback movies like they played Hocus Pocus and Beetlejuice, and they're playing a bunch of horror movies this month like Psycho and
That's not Cinemark though. That's Fandango. That's like a totally different company.
no, I know, but I'm just saying like, but in theaters in general, just go supporting your theaters in general, just because they're playing
They're
older movies.
trying
That's how
so
they're
hard.
trying. Yeah, they're trying to keep themselves open. Um,
I just wish
and,
they would do like bigger franchises instead of just being like, here's one movie from this franchise. Like, give them all to me. Like, let me have a
I know.
marathon.
Yeah, I was like, if you're gonna do one Harry Potter movie, do them all, so I can see them all.
Yeah, it's like I've only seen now Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Half Blood Prince in theaters. Like, let me go see all of them.
That'd be cool. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. They should be. But I guess it's all dependent on rights and stuff like that. But see, well, with the impending doom of our most precious vices out of the way, let's move on to the various content we watched throughout the week.
Before we
Uh,
go there, we should probably explain.
sure.
We didn't have a Monday movie night this week.
Yeah, usually every Monday we watch a Best Picture winner, whether it be an older one or a newer one, and sometimes and every third week we do a pick from our group. Somebody actually picks a movie they want us to watch.
But
Uh,
unfortunately, my
due to
boss got COVID, and now we are having to. I want to say quarantine, but I'm still going to work with precautions. But I'm basically like we cut off ourselves from all of our friends to avoid risk of exposure in case we have it, which is
yep, just doing the
why
safe thing and staying away. Doing our part, making sure that we can get rid of this virus as fast as possible.
which
That
really
way,
put a hamper on our week's plans.
plans exactly.
We were supposed to
But
watch The Exorcist, but now we're doing that next Monday. So stay
that's
tuned for that.
exactly. Yeah, we'll definitely be
If we
sure
get
to.
cleared, we'll know
Yeah,
by
right.
next Monday.
Yeah, we'll know by then. Um, yeah, but so this week though, we're just gonna talk about different movies that we got to watch just ourselves. And Bryce, I'll have you start out with one here. It's called The War of the Worlds.
All right, I watched this one today.
Did you want me to do the quick synopsis here for you, or did you want to do that?
I can do it.
Okay, I'll let you take away then.
So, War of the Worlds is based on H.G. Wells' classic novel. It is brought to life in this tale, or H.G. Wells' classic novel is brought to life in this tale of alien invasion. The residents of a small town in California are excited when a flaming meteor lands in their hills. Their joy is tempered somewhat when they discover that it has no passengers, or that has passengers who are not very friendly. I completely read that so wrong.
That's okay.
But no, this was a 1953 film, and I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan. I really don't like it. It's not my
Sure.
preferred genre. But I was really interested in this one because from what I was seeing, it had some really good miniatures, really good like effects for the time. I mean, this was a movie that came out 47 years ago, or not 47, 67 years ago. And like
Wow.
I was blown away by some of these miniatures. It was like you've seen the original Star Wars movies where they have all the
Sure.
miniatures and stuff. I would prefer this version's miniatures to the Star Wars miniatures. They just looked
Wow. That's a bold
more
statement.
legit. Well, I mean, you look at the Star Wars ones; they're always like stop motion. You can see they're kind of clunky and don't move
Right.
as fluid as they should. But this one, they were like like these ships are flying around shooting lasers at things, and I was like, man, this looks pretty damn legit.
Wow. You're like, well, this is what Star Wars should have done.
I was really impressed, man. There was like they were melting people with like lasers, and it's kind of cool. Now, I do have a couple things to take away. You see them; these are aliens from Mars, and
Hmm.
you see them one time the entire movie. One.
Oof.
The other every other time you see them, it's their ships or their technology that humans are trying to understand. They have this strange like romance subplot that kind of feels like it just got thrown in, but it's not. They don't distract to it. It's like it's mainly focused on the Martians' invasion instead of like this romance, which I appreciated.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
But I don't want to do spoilers because I really did like this movie. But the last 5 minutes ruined this entire film for me. It's only like 98 minutes long, or something like that.
Okay.
And it got to the last 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, this gonna really end like this, and then it just like complete cop out, and I was like, man, that really fucking sucked.
And see that's the biggest thing for me is the ending of movies, and I know it's when something doesn't end as appropriately as it said, it doesn't leave you satisfied. It's almost like it
No, and
was all
then
for nothing.
like they have this weird like religion side aspect to the whole movie. Like this one dude's like they're closer to God because they fly, so like stuff like that, and it's like, bruh, you're being fucking decimated by Martians. This is not what you should be thinking
You're
about
being
right now.
you're being decimated by Martians, man. That's God
And then
for
like
show.
the like during like the final like battles, quote unquote battle, there's like people in churches, like this dude running church to church looking for the girl for the love interest, and like luckily I was like, really, these people are burning your land, and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to church. I'm like, that doesn't seem like an appropriate response at all to
I'm not
this.
going to church. Lord forgive me.
But I mean, other than that, I really enjoy this movie. And what's even cooler is in the 1940s they
Mhm.
did a audio drama of this film. I think it was the 40s. It might have been the 30s, but I'm pretty sure it's the 40s. And Orson Welles, who you might know from Citizen Kane,
Yeah.
that guy. He did a radio drama version of War of the Worlds, and it was so realistic that the people actually went into a panic thinking Martians were attacking the United States.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's actually kind of funny.
what's even
It
better
just
is because I have this movie on Criterion Collection, so it comes with that radio drama.
do you get a chance to listen to it?
I have not. I really want to, but it's like I just watched the movie, so I might just do it a different day.
Yeah, it's not as it's not as fresh, and you kind of get a little separate thing there.
But
But
like
so
so realistic, people thought they were being invaded by Martians.
as far as sci-fi movies go, I'm trying to think of anything that like what would we consider sci-fi? Like would I'm trying to think because like you said you're not a huge fan of sci-fi movies, and I'm just trying to think of sci-fi movies that I've seen that I enjoy, but I can't particularly think of anything that I can just think strictly sci-fi. Because I mean, when I think sci-fi,
Arrival.
is that's the one Tom Cruise, right?
No, Arrival is with Jeremy Renner and God, what's her name? I forget. There's like the main girl's name, but Jada really liked that movie. I didn't like that movie that much.
Um,
There was Annihilation. Jada really liked. I didn't really like.
yeah. See, why do they all start with A? That's weird.
I don't know, but I don't know. I just something about that genre in general. I just like I get a disconnect from.
Yeah, well, I don't like space movies in general.
Like
Um,
now I know people are gonna be like, but Star Wars is not the
that's what I
same.
was
That's
thinking. I
not.
was about to,
That's not.
I thought sci-fi, but that's Star Wars. But that's like
It
it is a sci-fi movie, but it's almost like a
it's a
superhero
drama.
action
It's not.
action sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like in some cases it's a drama film. Like it's not even sci-fi at some points. There's like
I know,
romance stories in there. Like Attack of the
oh,
Clones is
Oblivion.
basically an entire romance. Um,
Oblivion. That was what I was looking for. Tom Cruise, right?
I think so. I don't
2013.
actually own that, so I don't know.
That was an okay movie. But speaking of Tom Cruise in space, I don't know if we've talked about it here on the show yet, but he's going to space with Elon Musk to film a movie next year.
That's so fucking stupid.
Okay,
This
okay,
is
it
the
might
same
sound stupid,
guy who gets
but
abs
here,
fucking put on him with CGI in the Mummy. Like, no, it's fucking dumb.
okay, I know it sounds dumb, but think about it though. You're the first actor to go film a movie in space. Like that, you basically just cemented your name in history forever. Like he was already one of those top celebrities. He's probably gonna get talked about for the longest time. Does your own stunts, does all these crazy stunts. Now
All this
you're
is
gonna
a
go in
publicity
space.
stunt because he doesn't want to admit the fact he's getting old.
Well, no, of course it is. I mean, he might admit that he's getting old. I don't
No,
know about
he's
that.
like he's like if I have a shirtless scene, I still have to be abs. They can't know I'm fat. It's like,
You
you're
know.
fucking 50 years old, Tom. Get the hell over it.
Did he really get his abs CGI? I haven't heard about that.
Dude, I like in the Mummy. I'm looking up to make sure I get the wording right, but he straight up I'm pretty sure it's in his contracts that if he has a shirtless scene,
Uh
he
huh.
fucking gets his abs CGI'd.
That's such a weird thing.
Like there's pictures of behind the scene Tom Cruise, and he has like
I mean, I don't know, but there's got to be something to say about an actor going to space to film a movie. I mean, I don't regardless if it's Tom Cruise or not. That's just I think that's cool as far as like setting history and like the whole thing of Hollywood.
I'm sorry, I was reading. I was not paying
Oh, you're good. No, but I'm just saying like
attention.
as far as being a actor, just even if it wasn't Tom Cruise, but just going to space and filming a movie. I mean that's not even just a huge step for like I mean mankind as to pardon the pun. But just like Hollywood in general, I mean that's just going to be cemented in history for forever.
I just wish it was for a better reason than him being like, I'm gonna be the first.
I mean that's probably all it was about, and I don't blame him though because that's kind of what legacy he's trying to overcome, and I'm sure he's the only one that would be crazy enough to do it. So
You
because
know,
otherwise there's really no reason to. There's really no reason to, but
I'm now like, I can't find any of the shit that said he did CGI his ass, but looking at some of these photos, dude, he has to. There's no fucking way.
I saw something about his like stunt double and then him switched bodies or something like that in post production. I don't
Yeah,
know. I didn't
because
look too
dude,
much into it, but
there's this one picture that like it's straight up from the Mummy, and he's flabby.
he's fun. Yeah, I mean, but still, yeah, Tom Cruise is very generic, but I still think it's cool as far as there's an actor going to space to film a movie. I just think that's just incredible,
I just wish there was a
especially the
better
fact that it's
actor.
a better actor. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I mean, he's not like Oscar worthy or
Or
anything, but
someone who wasn't just like so fucking. I don't know Tom Cruise, so this is just my opinion. He's so goddamn full of himself. You can just tell. He's like,
I'm
I
sure.
fucking hung out of a plane to film a movie. I learned how to fly a plane for a movie. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. No one else is doing it because it's stupid. There's people paid to do that.
I mean, yeah, I think he's a little crazy, but at the same time, I mean,
It's keeping his name in the
I don't
articles.
know. Well, okay, but you think about Jackie Chan, he did his own stunts too to a certain point, but
Jackie Chan was a legend. Tom Cruise is not Jackie Chan. They don't even compete on the same level.
I disagree. I think they're on the same level. I mean, as far as an actor who's going to go through the work of putting in the effort to try and to actually do these, like well, to me that's like he learned how to fly a plane for a role. Like to me, that's like some top level stuff right there.
A role that is a sequel to a movie that came out 40 years ago when he was a heartthrob that he's trying to relive in the past.
I mean, regardless, he learned how to fly a plane. I mean, I mean, like I said, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he learned how to fly a plane for a movie. I don't know, even regardless of what it's for.
I just don't
I mean,
like
that's
Tom Cruise.
dedication.
I'm sorry. Like he
I
could
mean,
be the
I
most
don't
impressive
necessarily like
man in
his
the world, and
acting.
I'm gonna be like, no, he's shit. I don't like him.
I mean, I guess my point is I don't. As far, I mean, yeah, I don't really find his acting ability like that great. Like when I see him in movies, it's not like he wins me over every time.
It's literally
But I just
like
think it's
they try
impressive
to
with the
use
things
his
he does.
name as like a way to get people to like watch movies, and all I can think about is like that doesn't make me want to go watch that movie. That makes me want to do the opposite to go watch that movie. I want to go
Oh
watch someone
god,
else's movie.
that's fair. I just want my main thing is I think it's just I find it impressive that
It
that
is
he's
impressive that we're going to space with an actor. It's just not impressive as Tom Cruise.
fair. I guess that's fair.
My 2 cents. Sorry.
Cool. Well, so that was H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. So you also watched Singin' in the Rain, from 1952, just one
Yes.
year earlier.
So I watched this movie because I had "Singing in the Rain" stuck in my head all day. And for those that don't know, this is about a silent film crew company making the difficult transition to sound films back in the 1930s. And I'm a huge silent film person, so I was really interested in this film. But I had the song "Singing in the Rain" stuck in my head for like an entire day, so I really wanted to go watch that. And I was not disappointed at all.
Oh, that's good.
I had such a fun time in this movie, and like I found it funny because we just watched Gene Kelly in American in
Totally Driven.
Paris,
Oh, not totally right. I'm dumb. American in Paris. That makes sense.
and seeing him again singing in the rain, where he's essentially doing the exact same thing, I just found that so funny.
Wasn't Debbie Reynolds in that movie too?
Yes, and she was adorable.
That's awesome. I know you had mentioned that like there were some cool transitions when they were moving from sound into because it was like basically that
That was the
it,
artist.
yeah. So it started out as a silent film, right? And then it moved into a musical. Is that how it worked? You said.
Don't remember. I kind of forgot the beginning because I got more into what was going on at the time because it's about like the jazz singer comes out, which I own and I plan to watch, but I have not got there yet. The jazz singer came out and everyone was like, "Psh, no one will watch sound films. It's a product of the time. Silence still the way." And then Jazz Singer like did really well in box office, so they were like, "Oh shit, we need to make a sound film now. Otherwise, we're not going to make any money."
That's
And
funny.
so they make this sound film, but the actress that Gene Kelly's like stars against in that film,
Sure.
she her voice is annoying as fuck.
Oh, jeez,
It's
that's not
basically
good.
like high pitched, horrible, like it doesn't sound right. And so they basically get Debbie Reynolds' character to dub over this woman's voice.
Okay, did they really?
Yeah, all the singing, all the like talking, everything in the entire film that they're making in this film. And then
So you're saying Debbie Reynolds is just the voice of
no,
one of the
no, no.
girls in there?
She is the love interest of Gene Kelly, but there's an actress like works beside Gene Kelly in as his role. So
Oh,
like the
okay.
character he's playing is an actor who's with another actress, but the actress sounds like shit. So they're like, well, how do we do this? Like, otherwise my career is gonna be ruined. Like, no one's gonna want to watch us if this woman's like in this film. She just sounds awful. And so they get Debbie Reynolds' character to dub over all this woman's voices. during this movie. It's
That's
it's really
interesting.
clever. It was like,
That's definitely an interesting type of movie. But you said it was pretty good.
dude, it was so good. And like the "Singin' in the Rain" song is a fucking technological marvel for the 1950s.
Why is that? What
They
is it? Just like
filmed okay, so it's a night scene, but they filmed it during the day. So they were on a lot and they put a giant tarp over the fucking lot, right? To cover out the sun, make it look black. They had
mhm.
pipes all across the ceiling with holes punched in it so the rain will go.
Oh wow,
And Gene Kelly had to like go around doing this fucking scene, soaking wet in like wool suits.
oh that sounds terrible.
But it's one of the best fucking musicals numbers I've ever seen. It's so good.
Yeah, that's definitely cool to hear. I mean, um, it's always nice to hear about older films that still kind of hold up to today, even if you know it's not completely like the best thing ever. It's still like very prominent as far as watchability. All right, with your movies out of the way, they are not out of the way, but as far as down there, we are gonna move on to what I watched this weekend. So I got my wisdom teeth pulled out this over this weekend. And so I just had a few days to just like sit down and watch a bunch of movies.
Lucky.
And I know, right? So I decided to watch a bunch of horror movies because I mean, it's October, so it's the season. And I also haven't done a whole lot of Halloween movies.
It's not
Uh,
your preferred genre.
yeah, it's not my preferred genre, but that's mostly because I haven't really watched any. So I figured I'm going to sit down and watch a bunch this month. And I also wanted to announce before I get into my movies I watched here. We are planning on doing like a Halloween Oktoberfest horror spook, whatever I end up naming it, episode here at the end of at the end of October, where we're just going to go over a bunch of different horror films that we watched throughout the month, and kind of just go over our whole thoughts on horror and different and the genre itself. Um, but I want to talk about two films off here that I did watch this weekend because they're very similar to each other. Both one's inspired by the other. I'm gonna read the two descriptions. What first movie is called Evil Dead 2013. So this is the synopsis. Mia, a young woman struggling with sobriety, heads to a remote cabin with a group of friends, where the discovery of Book of the Dead unwittingly summons up dormant demons which possess youngsters one by one. And the second movie I watched was Cabin in the Woods, and that's from 2011. And five college friends spend the weekend at a remote cabin in the woods where they get more than they bargained for. Together, they must discover the truth behind the cabin in the woods. So very, very similar themes there about just a group of friends being in the cabin in the woods. Bryce, I watched Cabin in the Woods first. I told you that I watched it, and you told me it was based on The Evil Dead, which I did not know at first.
Yeah,
Um,
the it's based on the original Evil Dead
right, there is Evil Dead, of course, not the 2013 one. 'Cause
because
obviously, that
they came
Cabin
out
was
like Cabin in the Woods came
after.
out in
Yeah.
2012.
Or 11, yeah, exactly. But still, um, now what this Cabin in the Woods movie, I was reluctant to watch it at first because I thought it was the Jennifer Lawrence House at the End of the Street movie, and I was not. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't, but I thought it was at first, and that's why I always stay away from this movie because I didn't want to watch it because I was like, I don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
You're like sitting there, you're like, oh god, I'm gonna have to fucking see her, aren't I? God damn
I
it! And then Chris Hemsworth's like, hello there, and you're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, and I
ho,
was like, oh
ho.
hello, hello puppy. But yes, no, I was very pleasantly surprised and to see that it wasn't Jennifer Lawrence, and it was not what I thought it was. It was not some sort of um, kind of lame movie. But then I watched Evil Dead shortly after because you told me it was based on that, not the 2013 version. Which honestly, I didn't even realize that there was multiple versions until I
Yeah,
watched this one.
you're like, I'm watching Evil Dead. I was like, oh shit, I love that movie. And you're like, this is creepy as fuck. And I was like, what the fuck one are you watching? And then you sent me a picture, and I was like, oh no, dude, I like the original. I haven't seen that one yet.
But this 2013, like, it's a really good horror movie. Like I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I liked it a little bit more than Cabin in the Woods, and it was just very enthralling. I'm going to read a little bit of my review here because I just think it sums it up perfectly. This film grabs you by the guts, rips them out, and drags you on an eye-splitting adventure with an abundance of unbridled horrific joy. Like, it's just a mess. Not a mess. I want to say it's a
It's
mess
a
of a movie.
disaster.
It's just like a complete bloodbath disaster that you're just see. Normally, I don't. It's like because it's about them getting possessed by demons. Which normally you'd be like, okay, usually those are slow burning. You think Paranormal Activity, fakes part of sort of flashes around the room, those really cheesy camera angles. But no, this is straight up like, no, they're fucking possessed, and it's not okay.
I
Like,
don't think you would like the original Evil Dead. No,
probably not. But
you'd be like, this is fucking cheesy as hell. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. there's a
don't get me wrong,
there's a
there's
deer
some
head
of the
that spins around in circles. You're like, that's fucking weird.
that's so weird. Don't get me wrong, there's a little level of cheese to this, but honestly, I think most horror movies that deal with like elements like demons and stuff like that, there's always a little bit of cheesiness to them.
Oh,
Um,
always 100%.
But still, this one it just kept me like I was actually scared. Like under my covers, like I don't want to fucking see this. I'm scared. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Just get it over with. Just somebody fucking do something, or not do something like as far as, but just like I was just like, don't. I don't know what to do. I can't speak. um. So that one was a lot of fun, and then Cabin in the Woods was cool, but I don't think I could watch that one again because the novelty of the surprise wears off. I think.
100%. Yeah, because once you're like, you understand how it all works, how like the whole story goes together. You're like, it's not as good when you're just watching it, going like, the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to add anything more than that, especially on that one, because it's definitely something you got to watch at least once.
It's
Because it
definitely
is
an
definitely a lot of
experience.
fun, a fun experience, and it's almost I think you said it was what is a satire,
It's a
a
satire of a
spoof.
ton of fucking horror movies.
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't,
Like
you really know what. Even if I say that, you're not gonna even know what that means until you watch it.
no, like there's this one demon that like just briefly shows up. That's like a rip off of Pinhead from Hellraiser. Like
Yeah, I know. I got that reference after because I was listening to I have some other podcast or something, and they're talking about that specific person that we saw, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
it's so clever. I love it. I was when you were like, I really like it. I was like, yeah, because it's fucking clever.
But it's clever, exactly. Yeah, it was clever, but it's just the novelty of that wears off after the first time, I think.
100%.
But yeah, but like I said, be sure to look out for our special horror Halloween episode that we're going to be doing towards the end of October.
I'm gonna try to watch so many just to fucking make
You
it to
just
where
watch
I get to
hundreds.
talk the whole time. You're
Yeah, I
like,
know.
I
You're just
watched
talking like,
10, and
I
I'm
watched
like,
this and this. I also have this tattoo and this tattoo and this tattoo with that movie, and I'd be like, I watched the 11 at the beginning of the month. That's all
you
I
know,
watched.
I might actually rewatch the entire Friday the 13th series. I might actually do that.
I do plan on seeing that in the theater because it comes out in the theater.
You've already
Wait,
seen
did I see
Friday?
it?
Yeah, you already saw Friday the 13th theater.
See, I always get all these movies messed up. Like I get Friday the 13th, and there's also what's the other one that's like super popular? Or with not Jason, but
Halloween.
no, there's Halloween, but then there's Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. They all look the same. They're all the same to me.
Yeah, the hockey mask guy looks the same as the burned guy.
They do. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Like in my head, they're just all the same movie, and it's.
But
I
no,
just like
I get my Blu-ray box set of Friday the 13th next week, so I'm probably gonna end up rewatching all those.
you should when you watch those, you should definitely tell me which ones I should watch because I don't want to be sitting here
Every
watching all of them again.
watch the first 6. The 7th one sucks.
There's so many. That's 6 of them. That's crazy.
Okay, but okay, so the first 4 are the real what I view as the real franchise of the series because like the 4th was titled The Final Chapter. It was supposed to end, but they were like
The final chapter.
money,
But you're like, Jason Zombie now. That's how this
dude. It's
works.
so the way
We want money.
the thing is with the Friday the
Money,
13th
bitch.
series is at least in every movie most of the movies they explain how he comes back, and it's not just like and he's back now. Yeah, I know you
We
thought
trying
he
to
was
get some
dead,
weed.
but he's dead. But he's back, and then like every movie he dies or whatever. Like he never really dies per se. He like gets trapped.
Man, you ever gonna die? That's
Well,
my
like
Chris Tucker.
there's a lot of things that like they chain him to a bottom of a lake or whatever. You know, like they trap him. They don't really kill him. So
Man,
like
treat him to the bottom like he don't die. That's some brutal shit. I ain't into that shit.
it's way better than like Nightmare on Elm Street where he dies and then he comes back and they don't explain it.
That makes sense. I was just channeling my inner Chris Tucker. Just get into horror movies. Man, that would be the funniest thing. I mean, you couldn't even you could not do a horror movie with Chris Tucker. He would just be like, man, get the hell out of here with that shit.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see if he did one.
I would watch that 1,000%. I love Chris Tucker, but
It's gonna be scary movie watch. It's gonna be
oh
100%
my
scary
god, it
movie.
probably would be. That's not see, but I think it'd be cool to see him in an actual horror movie, and and like for him to survive the whole time. But it's kind of hard to do horror and comedy at the same time and pull it off.
His
But
filmography by genre. We're gonna.
Happy Death Day did it. I mean, I know you're
I
not a
don't
huge
like
fan of Happy
Happy
Death
Death
Day,
Day.
but
The second one's better, but it's because they embrace their comedic.
see, I know that's the reason I didn't like it as much, is because. But that's a different topic for a different time.
That
But
yeah, that's
horror,
a
horror
totally
comedy
the
is a
can of
different.
worms.
But
Um, the fuck. I think I clicked all because what showed up was a shit ton of like drama, and I don't want genre. I want.
I want horror. Well, while you look that up, or if you get find that, but cool. But with our thoughts on the various content we watched throughout the week, spiraling into the filmverse, let's move on to our filmverse feature. Each week before our podcast, we watch a film that the other person hasn't seen. Last week, speaking of Chris Tucker, I chose the 1995 comedy Friday, which I also have never seen. I'll get your thoughts first, Bryce. What did you think of? What do you think of my goddamn movie?
I thought it was stupid. I'm not. I don't want to be mean, but I thought the movie was fucking dumb. I like,
Okay, that's fair. Why did you not like it? What parts of it that didn't work for you?
dude. It's so stereotypical. Like I know from the '90s it's like maybe, but like, shit, man. Like, there's so many things wrong with it. Like, why is there was no white people in this entire film?
Well, okay,
But I know,
I honestly didn't think that, but that's probably because
but
of the
I mean,
setting it
okay,
was in.
yeah, but I mean, there's still poor white people.
Not as much as you'd think, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure, but that's kind of what I mean. The
Where's the
story is
token white guy trying to fit in with the black people though?
okay. I don't know about that. Like that sounds.
That's more of a parody, but I feel like that's something they
Yeah,
could
that
have
that
done to make
sounds
it
like something.
funnier instead of just them sitting on a porch and being like, "Oh shit, we owe dude $200. We better figure that out."
I don't know. I'd like. I mean, okay. So I just enjoyed the simplicity of the movie. It wasn't about some grandeur thing. It was really more of just sitting back and enjoying the everyday life of these two dudes,
I
and Chris
really
Tucker.
wasn't
And it,
enjoying my time in their life. Their life's kind of sad.
no, it definitely. I mean, I don't know. I think it was just very simple and not very. Nothing really happens in the film. Really, like there's no major events. There's no major things. It just kind of happens in like a day or two. I think it's really just it's like 2 days that this happens in a Friday,
There is
which is
no
I think
horror
it's happening.
movies, which is really sad.
No, I didn't think he did
He's
any
done a
horror movies.
lot
So,
of comedies. He has 60 comedies, but he's been in 51 documentaries.
oh wow,
73 talk shows. Damn.
he likes to talk.
He's been
Man,
a
oh,
lot of music videos.
he's speaking English.
He's been
Um,
in as many music videos as he has been in comedy films.
wow. No, but I definitely I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was
I thought there
the
was some.
humor is very a taste that I think you have to have. That I don't think just every person's gonna have.
I definitely
It's
didn't,
very
but
stoner. It's stoner humor, but not as far as stoner humor as like the Pineapple Express.
dude,
It's
that
not
movie was
stoner
awful too.
humor.
I love Seth Rogen, but that movie was so bad.
Yeah, it's not like dumb stoner humor. It's just like laid back stoner
Yeah,
humor.
it's not like this. It's not like the. I mean, okay, the weed was kind of the forefront of the movie,
But yeah,
but
it was
not in a way that like
made it
every
dumb.
other joke was about weed. Like that's
Exactly.
it was just like it was there. It was important to the story, quote unquote story that wasn't really there, but it wasn't like only about weed.
Right. And yeah, there's definitely a bunch of references that are dated and there are jokes that are dated,
Oh,
which is gonna
100%. Like
happen.
the black woman with the weave or whatever.
Yeah, I
He was
mean,
like, "Oh
well, I
my
mean, I don't know.
god, you knew she was bald." It's like,
Right
dude.
nowadays, like that's like a cool thing to have, but it all depends on like I said, that's dated. I think there was even a small person being used as a joke, which I think still is sort of uses comedic elements in these days. I mean,
I think
definitely Wolf of
it
Wall Street used it, which is not
I
in a
think
certain way.
I think it definitely is still used, but less so since Peter Dinklage became a household name.
Right, it definitely shouldn't be used
Like
as much as a comedy.
ever
I don't
since
even
Game
find
of
it funny when it
Thrones was
happens.
like Peter Dinklage is Tyrion, and then everyone was like, "Oh shit, he's really cool. I like him." And then like this seems like the humor's kind of died off from that.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it probably should have too because I
Because
don't really find that humor funny.
you're also seeing more small people in like bigger movies, like mainly Peter Dinklage. Not gonna lie, he's definitely the forefront of everything.
He
but
played the giant Thor.
he played the giant Thor.
Richard
He was
Morgan.
in Days of Future Past as Trask. He was in
Oh yeah,
Game of Thrones, of course. He was. I mean, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in this one movie.
he's a good actor though.
He was in Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and he played a major character in that. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor, but I definitely believe that he's had a lot to do with small people getting better roles in films.
So this, I just want to read my quick review here of Friday. So I said a pleasant movie that embraces the bluntness of Ice Cube and the infectious giddy of Chris Tucker to create a flavorful film full of humor. It's simplistic yet funny, even 2 decades later.
I haven't written my review, so
No, that's definitely okay. I mean, I definitely see how you. I know you don't like the slice of life movies,
no, and I'm not a
which is
comedy
this.
person either. So it's just like,
Yeah, this, and I think a big thing about comedy is being there with the other person.
yeah. If you were here, I definitely would have had a better time. Like, I was just sitting here on my living room,
I think I would have had a
watching
better
the
time if I
film.
was with you too. Even though I know you probably wouldn't have like laughed as much as I would have, but I would have been like, "Ha, you gotta laugh at that." Like, I don't care, you laughing at that. That's funny.
Yeah, like I
Um,
definitely have a better time when with comedy as long as someone's here. Like not even Jada was here, so I was just over here like
yeah, just like
I'm all
just
by myself.
tapping on your hands, exactly.
It's like
Even though we tried doing it on Discord, but it's not the same thing. You know, it's
no,
not the same thing as
you'd be
calling.
laughing, and I'd just be sitting there going, I don't get it.
Haha, like, I don't get it. But well, and that really speaks to something that I love about a film. It's just the shared experience. Like if you I know we brought it up earlier about the streaming, but this is why I never think streaming is going to be a huge thing compared to going to the movie theater. Is because imagine an experience like Captain America in Avengers Endgame wielding Thor's hammer. Like the amount of like adrenaline and buzz and just fervor that flowed through your body when you were with a crowd of people that all sit up screaming and popcorn was flying everywhere and kids were screaming and you're like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever! What the fuck is happening?" You know, and but then if you watched it at home by yourself, it would have been like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." Like, damn. But then you know, it would. It's not the
It's not,
same like
yeah.
rush
And
that you get from being in
I
theater.
saw Endgame opening night with my friend, so we were like sitting there, we were just like, oh shit, like we were just freaking out, and then it was like,
I know it's one of those things where you like sit up a little bit in your chair, you grab the person next to you, you're like, "Is this fucking happening?"
I can't believe this.
Yeah, I know exactly because it
You're
almost feels like you're wielding the Mjolnir itself too, but like
you're
not when
like you're like the kid from The Incredibles. What are you waiting for? Something amazing,
something
I
amazing, I
guess.
guess. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, that happens if that happens in when you're, at home, like, it's cool, like, no doubt, like, that moment is still gonna be cool at home, but it's not gonna have that same
Yeah, like
I just got goosebumps again thinking about it, like, you're not getting that by yourself.
no, and even when I watch the movie by myself at home, I'm like, it's just not the same experience as it was in that theater.
Exactly, and and that correlates to other movies as well. When you're watching a drama and a super sad moment happens, and everybody else in the theater is really quiet, I reference back to Logan. And when Logan died, you know that just that pure somber feeling that you feel with everybody else around you, and even you get chills from that because you're sitting there like everybody else is feeling this pain with you, and even though it's a fictional character that none of you have anything else in common. That dude could be over there like you've never met this dude before, never talked to him,
You're like,
when you walk out of
you
that
look
theater, you
out,
can
you're
look
like,
at him
that was
and
super
you
sad,
shared the
wasn't
death of
it?
Logan. Exactly, yeah, exactly. That was pretty sad. You shared the death of Logan with that guy, or like even in a comedy, like we are talking about. You know, if we're together watching a comedy and something happens that maybe I find funny that you don't, but I'm laughing. I mean, you're gonna laugh a tiny bit because you know you find the humor that I'm enjoying.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Watching this movie, I was like, I feel like something's missing for me because Mitchell's over here laughing, and I'm over here like, I just don't
And
get
also,
it.
I think I just find I like black humor and stuff like that too. I just definitely I relate with it. So it's just um
I don't know. I guess I was expecting more hijinks in this film or whatever. You know, like in the vein of like Kevin Smith's movies, where it's like something happens and there are like all these wacky things going on, but instead it was just these two guys sitting on their porch,
it was literally
looking
this
across the
that, and
street, like,
I
oh,
was
that
like,
woman's really hot. You think
you
you can
know,
get me laid? Like,
yeah, I was like, you guys look way too old to be like teenagers right
dude,
now.
it's so
Living
sad.
at your
I
parents'
like
house.
saw Ice Cube and I was like, he went into his sister's room and I was like, is that her fucking dad? The fuck is going on?
Is that her dad? Yeah, no, and then
And then I saw
every
his dad and was like, I'm so fucking lost. Who the fuck is Ice Cube playing?
Ice Cube playing. It was weird seeing Ice Cube a little bit younger though. Like they did look too old, but they also Ice Cube young was cool. Or
Chris
younger than
Tucker looked the right age in my opinion. Like I mean,
he did.
he was
But
older than that, but like
Chris
Ice
Tucker is
Cube,
easy to though. He's like, man, you know I'm 15. You know that's true.
Ice Cube's just like I don't know. He's too. I want to say he's too serious to play like a
Give me my
teenager.
damn weed. He's like, man, suck that shit in. It's Friday, man. Just take some weed.
I just wish
I love
that
Chris Tucker. I love that dude so much.
maybe I need to see other Chris Tucker movies because I just like I don't know. I've only seen Fifth Element, so I was like,
Yeah, see the Fifth Element. Okay, see I've seen Rush Hour, which is my favorite, almost one of my favorite series. Which is apparently weird because I guess a lot of people don't like it, but I love Rush Hour. And I think it's just absolutely hilarious. Chris Tucker is is one of the main stars in that. It's just
yeah, I know in the
hilarious.
Fifth Element, I was laughing my ass off at everything he did. If he was not in that movie would have sucked ass.
I feel like this was a very diluted version of what he normally brings to the table, and that's why I think it was it was nice. It's a flavor to what he was doing in the movie, and it worked. But I just know like that's Chris Tucker is like 10 times that usually.
You're like, he's not as funny as he normally is.
And
Weird.
that's exactly what I was thinking of. But I was like, but still Chris Tucker. But I was like, I feel like they diluted him.
Dude, that final quote unquote fight, his dad's like, don't use the gun,
Oh my
son.
god.
Use the brick.
I don't know. He didn't even say that. He's just like, "Don't use the gun. Be a man." And then the dude picks up a brick and throws it at the dude's head. A trash can. A
He
fucking
picks up a
like
board.
wood
He's
stick,
like
a board.
beating
Yeah.
him down. It's like you could still die from that, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's
You're
not
like
proving
so.
anything.
So like, don't shoot him, but beat the fuck out of him. That's Batman to a T right there.
Oh my god.
You can't kill him, but just beat the shit out of him.
I saw this video and it was like these people like in the hospital and they're like sitting there like, so what were you doing? I was just buying some weed, man, and then Batman came in and he crippled me for life. Like I cannot feel my goddamn legs.
I'm just trying to. I can't feel my goddamn legs. I was just trying to buy some weed, man. Just some weed. Batman, fuck me up, man.
It's so funny when you think about that. Batman's like, I don't kill people, but I throw them off buildings. Gravity kills them.
Because I'm Batman. Yeah, he's like, gravity kills them. Man, gravity killed me. You threw me off the goddamn building.
It's so funny to think about the fact that Batman's like, I don't kill anybody, but then he's like, but shit sometimes happens. It's not me though. I didn't force him to land on the nail. Like the fuck.
Like, I'm just trying to get some goddamn weed around here. It's not illegal anymore. Come on, Batman. Who are you trying to impress? Poor lady, you trying to. You need to get yourself a lady. That's what you need.
I don't know. I guess I just wish that like I had enjoyed the movie more, but I probably would have if you were with me because I was just kind of like, this is really like a meh film for me.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I understand where you're coming from on that. But. So, with my Filmverse feature out of the way there, what's you have in line for store for me for next week?
We're gonna be watching a 1954 film by Akira Kurosawa, one of the
Sounds
most innovative directors in film history, with such hits as The Hidden Fortress that inspired Star Wars, and another movie called High and Low that is a fucking hilarious film when you get into what it's about. But that's not the movie we're watching. It's a totally different can of worms. But he made films like Yojimbo, which inspired the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly trilogy. So the one we're going to be watching is a 3.5-hour epic called Seven Samurai.
Oh, okay, Seven Samurai. I've definitely heard of that. That's like the film that like a lot of movies are based off of, right? Like,
you get movies like Bug's Life. You get movies like The Magnificent Seven. I don't know why it would be. That's not the best one, but you're entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
It's life is like a that's messed up. You're telling me it's wrong. That's my favorite Pixar movie. How do you not like Flick? He's like, here's a rock. It's your life.
How do you compare a Bug's Life to a film like Up, or a film like Ratatouille, or a film like Coco, or a film?
I'll tell you why. Because like out of all, nothing has touched me as I think as much as when Flick has been beaten down by all the grasshoppers, and yet he still stands up at the end, his chest puffed out, his bruised eye. He says, I forgot what exactly he says, but he stands up to Hopper. Oh my god, bro! Like, there's nothing that beats that moment for me in any movies whatsoever. Like, that just like gets me every time.
Throwing all that Cap shit we just talked about down the drain.
Pretty much. but like just him standing up so defiant to like knowing that he could just get smushed so easily, and then he's like, I don't care, I'm standing up. And then everybody else just, and then oh my god, all the other ants like just decided to join in with him. It's just like the most ultimate hoorah moment for me ever. I'm just like, yes. I was like, you fucking go.
You do it, ants. You get your thing. That's a weird
Because,
side tangent, but okay, Mitchell.
I know, so I just love that movie so much. But
I
anyway,
just
so Seven Samurai. Um, so there was, so it's a foreign film, right? It's not in English.
no,
Is
it
that
is
right?
a Japanese 3.5 hour Japanese film.
Is there English subtitles? I don't know if I never.
Why
I don't know
wouldn't
how it works.
Why
I don't
wouldn't
know
there
if
be
there is.
subtitles? We're not just gonna sit there hearing people scream in Japanese.
Well, I don't know. I was making sure. I just want to know. So with
We'll
that being
get to
said,
the sign language film eventually, Mitchell. God,
oh no,
you
I'd
don't
rather
want
watch Halo
subtitles
first.
so bad. We'll get there.
Could we watch Halo first before that? I want to suffer before. I want to know
Well,
true suffering before I get to sign language.
well, sign.
Not that sign language is bad. It's just like, sorry, I didn't mean to, like in that connotation. It's just like, okay, there's a different. There's movies that like you have to. You know, I don't know. It's
For
it's one of those barriers like you probably face with like foreign films, is that it's like Parasite did really well in Train to Busan. It's like you don't even notice that you're watching a foreign film because the subtitles and the characters are that good. But it's almost like sign language is a whole different ballgame because it's like
for
there's so much
those
movement
not
going on.
aware, there is a film that came out in 2014 called The Tribe, and it is a film completely in sign language. There are actors. There is no talking. There is no subtitles. It is all just sign language.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I bought it specifically because of that, because I had never heard of a sign language film. So I really want to watch it, but I'm really scared to watch it.
but so Seven Samurai, yeah. I mean, well, I'm definitely down to see that. I know it's been on my list for a long time, and I know that it's gonna help increase my film repertoire at the very least.
And
So
we're going to be watching the 3.5 hour Blu-ray that I own. Ho ho ho! High
Blu-ray,
quality.
high quality H2O,
Well,
man, it's some damn high quality film.
I'm really excited to rewatch this because the first time I rewatched it, it was only like my third foreign film I'd ever seen, and I was not prepared in any way to watch this.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll get a new perspective on it. Then that's
I hope
exciting.
so because I've seen a lot of fucking Japanese, French, Italian, I'm like a lot of those films now. So hopefully I'll actually be able to like pay attention.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys for joining us as we talked movie news, shared our thoughts on Friday. Regal Cinema shutting their doors and delved into our weekly movie watches. Be sure to follow us and turn on notifications to get updates every time we post. You can stay connected with Bryce Payne on Letterboxd
Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews.
and you can stay connected with me, Mytchel Chandler, by following me on one of my multitudes of social medias on Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler, on Twitter at Mytchel Chandler, and on Letterboxd at Mitch Reviews. And Mitchell and Mitch is spelled with a Y. That's Mytchel. That's all for this week, our fellow cinephiles, and until next time,
Excelsior!
Excelsior!